Next will be the demonstration of the guest account management feature. So for context, this feature encompasses the main business processes that occur in a hotel's front desk, the check-in and check-out of a guest. So this feature is accessed by the receptionist user. From the dashboard of the receptionist, the guest account management feature can be accessed by clicking this button on the side navigation. The receptionist will be greeted with the list of guest accounts. Next, to accommodate a walk-in check-in, it can be done by clicking this register a guest account button. It is a multi-step form. First step is to fill out the guest details. Next is to fill out the guest's stay details. Next is to process the room's payment. And finally, once everything has been filled out, we click the submit button. After successful registration, the recently registered guest account should have immediately reflected on the guest account list page. So let us click this button to view a guest account. So as a rundown, what's included in the detail page of the guest account are the account information and the folio, which includes the transactions that the guests have incurred and will incur during their stay in the hotel. And of course, in the folio, a summary is included. As for the transactions, for context, this front desk system is connected to other systems, namely ancillary and housekeeping systems, which we currently do not have access to. So to simulate, the developers have created a tool called the Checkout Helper to aid in adding transactions to the guest accounts. The link for this tool will be made available on the description below. So make sure that the Checkout Helper is readily available in the other tab. And so to simulate the event that a guest avails of ancillary services, make use of this Checkout Helper. So first, we have to select the Relax Hotel. Next is to select the guest account we want to add transactions to. And then click this button to add ancillary transactions. This should immediately reflect in the guest's account folio. Next, in the event that the guest wants to extend their stay, make sure we are or you are in the guest account list page. Then we have to search for the guest account. Click this button, then input the number of days the guest wants to extend. Click submit, and as you can see here, a new transaction for the guest extension was added to the folio immediately. Lastly, in the event that the guest checks out of the room, the system will mainly communicate with the housekeeping system. So as mentioned before, we do not have access to the system and will only be using the checkout helper tool. Keep in mind that you, the user, is the receptionist in the scenario. So let us say that the guest wants to check out of the room. As the receptionist, we have to click this button to change the room status from occupied to check out. This alerts housekeeping that the room is ready for inspection, and at this stage, housekeeping staff should be inspecting the guest's room. Now let us simulate that the guests do have housekeeping transactions, i.e. they took something from the room's fridge or pantry. So again, we make use of the checkout helper. Select the hotel, select the guest account, and click this button to add housekeeping transactions. To prompt the front desk that the room has already been inspected and every housekeeping transactions have been accounted for, we have to flip the room status to inspected. Going back to the system, the housekeeping transactions should have reflected immediately as well. So, as the room is already inspected, as the receptionist, you have to settle the guests' balances by processing their payment. This should automatically download the guest folio as a guest's folio or invoice as a PDF. This should be printed and handed over to the guest. So this PDF version of the invoice includes the transactions of the guest and the summary of the folio. So after the checkout process is completed in the checkout helper, we should archive that guest account and flip the room status from recently checked out to vacant. So after the guest account has already been archived, it will be stored in the archived guest accounts, which can be accessed by clicking this button on the side navigation. So viewing one, we search for the guest that we have recently checked out. We can still see their account information and their folio. And of course, we can still download the PDF of the invoice.